What's going on, Atlanta Falcons fans, pound for pound, ATL family? Hey, it's Toby D. And today, we're going to dig into this defensive line and the OLBs, pass rush, everything today, man. We've been talking about a lot of offense, as you guys know, me and JR have, and doing a lot of videos, playbook videos on Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, what we could possibly get out of those guys in the offense. Wide receivers, the new additions of Brian Edwards, and of course, Drake London, the rookie that we drafted 8th overall. We're going to jump into the defensive side of the ball. What I hope to accomplish today is we've seen Terry Fontenot and his guys make a lot of cost-effective moves. You know, you have to work with the money that you got. They had a little bit more money this year, but they learned how to work with it. And like Terry Fontenot said, they will leave no stone unturned. They have been going out and finding these guys to bring in here, and if they can get any part of these guys to do what they're hoping they can do with the potential that they bring in 2022, guys, the Falcons could potentially go in to next year with all that cap that they're going to have and add on to a young defensive squad. And guys, when I say young, I do mean young. These guys are under 30, and we're going to talk about some of these guys today. And especially the new guy we just added in Eddie Goldman, yes, formerly of the Chicago Bears. I know a lot of people been talking about Ryan Pace taking over here since Terry Fontenot brought him on here, but you guys know, of course, Terry is going to bring in guys he's familiar with, and Ryan Pace was a guy that was with him over there when they was in New Orleans, ended up getting the job as the general manager at the Chicago Bears. And now he's back. He's back with Terry Fontenot and with the Atlanta Falcons. Before we get into the defense, though, if you guys have not subscribed to this channel and you're over here for the first time, please hit that like button. Also, hit that notification bell so that you can be sure to get all the videos that JR and myself put out as we get ready to go into camp, starting, I think, on July 29th. As well as, of course, obviously, subscribe to the channel. Let's get on into it, man. What I want to do today is I want to talk about how I believe this defensive line was built to model the type of player Grady Jarrett is. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you. I've gone on record saying I thought that the days of Grady Jarrett being an Atlanta Falcon was over. And for a little bit, it did seem like it was heading in that direction until Steve Wyche came out before they traded Matt Ryan and said that they were looking to get an extension done with Jake Matthews as well as Grady Jarrett. Now, they got a deal done with Jake Matthews much earlier than Grady Jarrett. It took a while. And I believe the whole thing was Grady wanted to see how committed these guys were to him, not only just financially, but how are you guys going to build around me to help me to have success, that I'm not the only one that offensive lines are focusing on up front. JR and I continue to see it. You saw that Detroit game when they put out that clip. The Atlanta Falcons site put that clip out when Grady Jarrett was saying, don't you guys have anybody else to block, when they had 3-4 guys up on him trying to keep him from disrupting that game. And we know the type of player Grady Jarrett can be. But we saw that the Falcons not only committed to him financially, but they also, I believe, have built guys with the model of Grady Jarrett in mind. Let's talk about Grady Jarrett for a little bit. I just dropped my pen. Let me get my pen. Let's talk about Grady Jarrett for a little bit. Things that we know about Grady Jarrett since he was drafted in 2015 in the 5th round by the Atlanta Falcons when Dan Quinn was here. Grady Jarrett, film study student of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we know this, man. This guy does not just go in the game just thinking that he's going to win with just strength alone in that middle. You got to be a student of the game to understand who your opponent is, what you're going up against, being able to split double teams with the technique that he uses to be able to do that. Get to the pass rusher with that quick swim move over the guard so that he can get to the quarterback off that quick first step. These are things that you have to be a student of the game in order to really take your craft seriously. And Grady Jarrett is one of those guys to do that. Number 2, high motor. We've seen it all the time and time again. You a ball carrier, you got that ball. Grady Jarrett will chase you from sideline to sideline. It does not matter to him, especially if you are a mobile QB trying to run and escape to get away from him. We've seen Grady Jarrett chasing you from left to right, center. It does not matter. He has a high motor, and if you're within his grasp, he is going to chase you down. Number 3, will play wherever you ask him. Grady Jarrett might not be good at all the technique spots that you will have him move in, but he definitely, because he's a student of the game, will do whatever he can to be the best at whatever you're asking him to do. He can play the 5 technique if you're asking him to do it. We've seen him do it a few times last year when he was asked by Dean Pease to be a pass rushing end. Look, when you don't have a lot of pass rush help, you have to do whatever you have to do to help your team have success, and this is something Grady Jarrett has done continuously for the Atlanta Falcons since he's been an Atlanta Falcon. Number 4, high work ethic. Every year, we see Grady Jarrett pumping them weights out, doing whatever he can to keep his body fit to be able to handle a 17-week season. Now, yes, we know it went from 16 to 17 weeks now. Last year was the first year that they did that in 2021. This guy is in great shape every year. One of the things I like what Dan Quinn said, though, about work ethics and effort. You can teach work ethics. Yes, you can. You can teach someone how to have a better workout regimen to better get their body in shape, to be prepared to play for the NFL. But the one thing you can't teach is the other E word, and that's effort. That player has to be able to have effort, high motor, to be able to get after it, and they do not stop until they have to stop getting after whoever it is they need to get after that has that football, and this is Grady Jarrett. Number 5, will compete despite what the game looks like. We've seen time and time again since after 2017, Grady Jarrett not giving up. Just because they're having a losing season, this guy comes out there ready to go, and this is what makes him a true leader. Now, last year, it looks like there was time when many guys had checked out. Look, you got a new coaching staff coming up in here. You don't know specifically what their vision is, and they admitted that Grady was not a fit for what they wanted to do, but they showed that they're still willing to commit to that type of pass rusher and a guy that has the leadership qualities that he has, despite what they felt like he probably wasn't a fit for on their defense, because they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Grady Jarrett is happy, and we're going to talk about that. Number 6, leads vocally and by example. We've seen it time and time again. Grady Jarrett is a leader, vocally and by example, what he does on the field. And this is another reason why you can't let a guy of that type of value leave from your squad, because you need him in that locker room. Number 7, secondary. Good on the back, and guess what he's going to do? He's going to reward you with a sack, pressure, hurry, make the quarterback throw the ball quickly and cause either an interception or get a fumble. This is what this guy is able to do for a secondary that is good on the back end. And we've seen what Atlanta is trying to do with Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, building a secondary, bringing Casey Hayward in, getting Isaiah Oliver back. Got guys like Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant that we're going to have to see on the back end what those two young safeties can do. But man, if they can bring something promising going into 2023, ladies and gentlemen, this defense could be something powerful to deal with in the 2023 season. Number 8, brings the energy. When we talk about some of these guys that we're going to talk about that models after Grady Jarrett, that energy, ladies and gentlemen, we should see a huge difference for the Atlanta Falcons in this season alone. There's going to be a lot more energy projected to be up front than we've probably seen in years past. Number 9, quick first step. I talked about that briefly earlier, talking about some of the things that Grady Jarrett is good at. And that quick first step, boy, he gets off that quick first step so fast, before the offensive guard can even get up properly to get into his stance, Grady's already swim moved him back there to get to the quarterback, or run after the quarterback, or run after the running back, whichever side, left, right, middle, it doesn't even matter. He is able to do it because of that high motor energy intensity that he brings to the field. Number 10, pass rush moves. We've seen it. I talked about that swim move, that quick first step and that swim move he likes to use to get off the guard quickly and get back there and disrupt whatever's going on in the back of the field. The rip move that he can use to get back there, splitting the double teams. All these things have to be worked on for you to be one of the best in the NFL. Number 11, stops the run. I think if there's any theme that we see this year, the Atlanta Falcons under Dean Pease are determined to stop the run, especially on first and second down. Why is that so important? Because what you do on first and second down will allow you to have success in a longer situation on third downs when you get to it. You get into a 3rd to 7+ situation more times than not, and you have the guys that's able to get back there more times than not and have a secondary that can possibly hold up in the back and allow you to get that coverage sack and get to the quarterback. You got yourself in a good situation. Number 12, every down guy. There's some guys right now, and this is important, that you have as many every down guys that you can have, especially when you're talking about being multiple on defense. So here's what I'm going to do. All those things I just listed about Grady Jarrett, I'm going to put the guys over to the right of me that I believe fits the model of Grady Jarrett, and the guys on the left that I believe there is some questions about going into the season and possibly their roster spot being in jeopardy and may not make the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go ahead and talk about Lorenzo Carter and rookie Arnold Ebiketie. These are my big three: Grady Jarrett, Arnold Ebiketie, and Lorenzo Carter. And I believe if you can get these three guys to have a huge season for you, Falcons fans, we might have a chance. I've gone on record saying this on the last live show. Shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind for coming on and joining us the last live show we had Tuesday. And I said this on record. If we can get those three guys going on defense, Grady Jarrett, Lorenzo Carter, and Arnold Ebiketie, I think we might have us something real strong when it comes to Atlanta Falcons having the opportunity to sniff the playoffs in 2022. And let me tell you why. You haven't had a chance to really watch Lorenzo Carter or Arnold Ebiketie. These guys have a plan for rushing the quarterback. We haven't seen this in a long time. This is much more than just being athletic and speedy or just using a straight up bull rush trying to rush somebody into the quarterback so you can get to them. They have a way of being able to set guys up. Watch Lorenzo Carter. 2019, I think the game against Washington and the game against Chicago, and then when you come to 2021, you get to that Dallas game. I believe it's the second game of the season that they played against the Dallas Cowboys, and there was a play where the secondary held up well for the Giants on the back end, and your boy Lorenzo Carter did not give up on the play. He went off the Dak Prescott, and guess what? Eventually got the sack on Dak, and it didn't matter where Dak moved. He went and he got him. He didn't give up on the play, and this is what you need for guys to be like Grady Jarrett out here on the field. Both of these guys can set the edge in the run game if you need them to. You talk about being multiple. You don't have to sit there and Dean Pease being concerned about whatever the offense sets up in, not having guys that can adjust and move and become a multiple defense and play whatever technique they need to play in order to defend whatever they're seeing up front. Now you got guys that you have up front that is able to do that. Convert speed to power. They are able to do those things and set up whoever they are facing in the intelligence level that they're going to have up front with Grady Jarrett leading the way. I love Lorenzo Carter and Arnold Ebiketie joining this group to join Grady Jarrett. Let's talk about Adi Ogundeji. I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce his first name, guys, because I do not want to butcher it. I'm just going to call him Adi like many of us do. But this is going to be interesting. Former 5th round pick from last year, coming in here, seeing what he's going to be able to do, because he's not going down quietly in the night just because you got Ebiketie and Angelo Malone, who we're going to talk about as well, coming in here. This guy is going to show why he belongs. Man, and I didn't even realize when you go back and looking at the film, him and Grady Jarrett had a lot of success off twist stunts, working off of each other on them ends in the middle, getting these twist stunts that they were doing to get back there to either get the sack on the quarterback or force him into a situation where he got to run for his life and study chasing him. This is why Audi fits so good with the Atlanta Falcons, because he already represents what Grady Jarrett is. I want to go ahead and talk about the new guy. Yes, he is a Chicago Bears. We got a lot of people that are kind of, confused or probably disappointed because they're like, well, Chicago Bears haven't been good in a little bit, so why we keep going out to former Chicago Bears? Eddie Goldman, former second round pick, coming to the Atlanta Falcons, and he's a late addition going into camp. He is perfect for somebody like a Grady Jarrett. This is a guy that doesn't just play nose tackle, head up on the center. This guy has the ability to play two tech, two eye, three tech, one. It doesn't even matter. You can put him all over the field, and he is a guy that can help Grady Jarrett. And as well, I'm telling you right now, these LBs that we got, and Michael Walker, Troy Anderson, the rookie, Rashawn Evans, and Nick Kwiatkowski, man, these guys have to be excited right now with the guys they have up in front of them. I'm talking about we should have Blitz Central. I'm believing. This is just me. I'm believing in this season alone because now you got guys like Eddie Goldman that you just added into the mix. And you already had Anthony Rush. And all these guys I'm mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, they are young. Means a whole bunch going into the 2023 season. I know we haven't gotten it yet, but man, this is huge if you can get production out of these guys and add on to building to these guys. They could possibly do some things and help you be in contention for years to come on the defensive side of the ball. And many of you have been clamoring for a great defense. This is an opportunity to hopefully be able to build one of those in 2023, but getting started in 2022 doing it. Anthony Rush, guys, he played pretty well down the stretch. The one game that really sticks out to me the most is the game against the Jaguars. Oh, he was a beast in that game against the Jaguars offensive line. And we need that type of production again and start early with Anthony Rush going into the season. Vincent Taylor, a guy that JR and myself continue to bring up that just gets to he gets drowned on the roster right now. Not a lot of people talking about this guy, but you talking about another guy that brings energy and is only 28 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know. Hopefully, he can recover greatly from that injury because we can definitely use his help going into the 22 season. But this is a guy I would not sleep on, ladies and gentlemen, especially rushing out of that two-tech. Now, I'm not going to get too technical and talking about that two-tech. I know I mentioned it probably twice now, but there's a reason for that, and we can get deeper into that before the season starts and why I'm mentioning that. Let's talk about our other rookie, Angelo Malone, that we drafted in the third round. You talking about needing a guy that can help you close games out. If it comes down to that sack that you need to keep a drive from staying alive and killing it, we've seen time and time again, ladies and gentlemen, one sack that we just missed can keep a drive alive and ultimately kill us and allow that opposing team to win the game. Example, the Washington Redskins game that we played last year, I think week 4. Man, we had so many chances to stop that game. And our boy, he's gone now. I'm not even going to mention his number or anything, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I think he's over there with Dallas now. But him continuously missing on these sacks that could have put this game to bed. This is the reason why you have to go out after guys and get guys that when it's time to put the game to bed, the defense is able to do it. As they say, what the saying goes, the defense wins championships. And you need a guy like a Angelo Malone. We was at that Senior Bowl, me and JR, and we watched them. They closed that game out. They did not allow the other team to have a chance to keep any drives alive. They were sacking like crazy at the end of that game. And it was great to watch. And now you have a guy like that from here on your team that gives you the ability to not only be your pass rushing specialist, who I believe he will be starting out this season, but a guy that has the potential of helping to close out games if it comes down to the defense having to stop drives from continuing to go on that could possibly lead to giving up scores. Taquan Graham. Man, I don't know if many of you seen it. I think I saw Damsky, man, he put it on Twitter from the IG of Taquan Graham out there working out. These are things you see Grady Jarrett doing all the time. And now you have a guy that says he watched Grady Jarrett you know, a lot of Grady Jarrett film. And this guy now is adopting the work ethics of Grady Jarrett, working hard, because, man, this is going to be a lot of competition going into this season. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to see what your offensive line is made of, Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, Dean Pease, all of y'all, you're going to get an opportunity to see quickly what your offensive line is made of. There will be no excuse, because there's enough talent that's either going to expose what you don't have up front or help to make what you have up front develop and become better. If you believe that you got guys and Jalen Mayfield that can become better, you're going to find out very quickly. You're going to find out if Caleb McGarry can handle the speed pass rush, because there are plenty of guys right now that's going to test him coming up, and whether you're going to be giving that job to Jermaine Ifedi, who joined us, formerly of the Chicago Bears and Seattle Seahawks, or McGarry is going to end up keeping his job, or Jalen Mayfield is going to end up keeping his job as well. You're going to find out. Man, Timmy Horn. I got an undrafted free agent here. Man, I went and watched this guy from Kansas State recently where he was at. This guy has some goods. He can rush all over the field. Your 5 tech, 3 tech, 2 tech, 0 tech, 1 tech. It does not matter. Here's another guy that will allow you, if he makes the team, to be multiple and make the adjustments compared to whatever you're going to see on the field, whatever formations that they're trying to do. If they're trying to change something at the last minute, you will have a squad on the field that will be able to now do that and adjust to whatever they are seeing up front. And this is what I love. This is the true essence of what multiplicity is going to look like for the Atlanta Falcons, with the potential that they now have up front. But this Timmy Horn, I would definitely keep a watch out for him. His number is number 93. So keep a watch out for him. 6'4", 323 pounds. Dude, very aggressive at the point of attack. I love that. Heavy hands, and he gets after it. Will chase you. I don't care where you are, from sideline to sideline. All of these guys will chase you everywhere. And this is what I talk about, the energy level that's going to be different for the Atlanta Falcons in 2022. You're going to see it. My last guy, another undrafted out of Penn State, Derrickangelo. I like this guy. I think he's number 99 for the Atlanta Falcons. He's also a guy that can get after it and play 0, 1, 2. It does not matter. He can play all over the line if you need him to do so. And I'm going to tell you, man, the Falcons are very serious about finding that competition. Who's going to be their best 0, 1 technique guy up front? They are determined they're going to find that guy this year that can help really collapse the pocket and demand double teams to free your other guys up to be able to get back there to the quarterback or stop the run play when necessary. And I'm excited about every last one of these guys. Now, I got one guy that's over there in my left right now, and I'm sure many of you know the name that I'm about to talk about. Marlon Davidson. He's going to have some stiff competition that he's going to have to get through, because he hasn't really materialized into that second round pick that we need for him to be. Now, he's shown a few splashes, but he can't stay healthy to stay on the field a whole season. And this could hurt him this season if he's not able to stay healthy, or not able to practice a lot, or not able to play in the preseason, because we do know Arthur Smith has said guys will play this preseason as opposed to not playing a lot of guys last season. So Marlon Davidson right now, although he's shown flashes of greatness, especially that interception when he dropped into coverage and got off Tom Brady in that game they played against them coming into the dome at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We need to see what else Marlon Davidson got, because like I said, the competition is about to be real steep for him to have a huge hill to climb, especially bringing in Eddie Goldman, who I'm very excited to see if the Atlanta Falcons can get the 2015 to 2019 form that Eddie Goldman had going into 2021. A lot of people probably don't even know he opted out of the 2020 season because of the pandemic that went on. Came back in 2021, they changed over defensive schemes and had a new defensive coordinator, and the very thing that he took out for came back, ended up testing positive, had to miss 10 days. So he never could really get reacclimated to being back with the Chicago Bears. But this year, now you get a guy you bring in, you hope that under Dean Pease, he can get what Eddie Goldman was under Vic Fangio, who eventually went over to the Denver Broncos and became their head coach, no longer their head coach now because he's gone, and under Chuck Pagano. If you can get that guy, that those two defensive coordinators with Chicago had, now you got yourself something, I believe, out of this guy who's only 28 years old. Other than that, man, look, sometimes you just got to say stuff out loud for us to really see what we really have and hear it. And I'm hoping that's what this video obtains, that we really get a chance to go and dig deeper into these guys, these young guys that the Atlanta Falcons, Terry Fontenot have brought in, and see what they got. Y'all comment, let me know if you think the defense is going to be about something, knowing about the guys that we have. This might be your first time hearing some of these guys, or you never really gotten familiar with them after we brought them in. You may not believe in the season, so you probably didn't think to even worry about looking at these players. But now you might want to be itching to go in and really dig in on them and see, because we might be sleeping on this defense. Yeah, now I still don't see them past 5 wins yet. But hey, they could surprise me, and I'll be setting up, getting ready to eat my crow, finding that restaurant where I can go to. But look, please continue to share, like, comment. You guys have been great for us, me and JR at Pound for Pound ATL. We thank all the people that have come on in the past and have been able to come in and share knowledge and that they had on the Pound for Pound ATL. We look to continue bringing people on. Other than that, this is Toby D, Pound for Pound ATL. Peace. I'm out.